Example 3, use multiplication properties. Now, the last problem we didn't have to name the property used on each step, but the big one was the commutative property. Now I'm going to use the multiplication properties, but this time it does want me to name the property used on each step. So part of this problem is going to be after I do all the work that I want, I'm then going to name each property that I used along the way. So this is a problem where it's really good to do a vertical alignment for your work. I've got 5 times 7 times 4 times 2. When I'm looking at this problem, man, it'd be really nice if those 5 and 2 are right next to each other. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to use the commutative property to put these two numbers right next to each other. And the cool thing about the commutative property is you can do it over and over again. So I can switch 4 and 2, and then I've got 2 and 7 next to each other, and I'm going to switch the 2 and the 7 again. So I got 5 times 2 times 7 times 4. Alright. Now 5 times 2, I want to do that part first, and I'm actually going to put some parentheses around these things. This is something I actually forgot to do in the last one. 5 times 2 is 10. 7 times 4 is 28. Putting those parentheses around is the associative property. Because I'm just saying, hey, I want to multiply these two numbers first, and I want to multiply these two numbers separately. And that just makes my life easier, because 10 times 28, all I got to do is add a 0 to the end of the 28. Now I've got my problem. You can see the power of the commutative property. 5 times 7 is 35. Times 4 is something. Then I'd have to double it again. Not the most convenient thing to do in my head, but the commutative properties make that possible. So, what did I do in each step? Well, here this was originally just the given. Then I moved the 2 around, and that was the commutative property. Then I used the associative property within the red there to decide I wanted to multiply the 5 and the 2 separate from the 7 and the 4. And then the last one is just plain old multiplication. Notice with each of these things as I'm describing them, I take where I am, and then whatever I did to get to that step. So here, this is like step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Step 1, I'm just writing down what was given to me. Step 2, how did I change from step 1 to step 2? I used the commutative property. How did I change from step 2 to step 3? I used the associative property. So the line that you're using to describe is, what did I do to get from the last step down to the step I'm at now? Now, you probably see my glove now, and so I don't get my writing screen all nasty. But there you go. There is your result and all the steps that we used along the way. And that's it for the section.